This is what happens, you see, when my daughter isn't here, so I have to kind of be in 17 places, but it's all fine. So thank you for coming to the Bavard Bar. This is fantastic. There's a good number. So I know some of you have been before, but there are some new people in, so I will just explain very briefly what it is that you've come to. And I love this new arrangement that they've put in at Printers here, so it's much more sort of cabaret and relaxed style than we've had before, so that's great. But essentially, it's a talking night that's based on essentially Brighton's Catalyst Club that David Bramwell, Dr. David Bramwell, has been, as he likes to be known, has been running for about 13 years. But and it's a lovely thing. It's every month in Brighton, and 3 people take the mic and they talk about something they're passionate about. And I've gone to it over the years and loved it, and I've spoken there, and I thought, well, hang on, we can do this elsewhere. So I chatted to David, and he said, yeah, fine, do it wherever you like. So I did, and he said we could use the Catalyst name, but my daughter came up with the name Bavard, which comes from the French chatty. So it is literally the chatty bar, and I quite like that name. That it's a nice sort of nice ring to it. But David's idea, the Catalyst Club, and there's lots of other events, is sort of kind of linked to things like TED Talks that I'm sure you'll know about. I gave a little introduction at a recent Bavard Bar. I went through some of these kind of talking nights and explained some of the history to them. I won't do that tonight, but just to sort of give you that flavour that there are 3 speakers and they will talk this evening about things they're passionate about for 15 minutes approximately each, 15 to 20 minutes, and then there'll be time for questions after each talk. And the other thing that I will say, and I will say it again later, is that if any of you are passionate about something, then do let me know. I know there's a couple of you in the audience who are currently working on talks that you're planning to give at some point in the near future. Then let me know, and I'll put you on to speak at some point. But I'm not going to go on for too long this evening before introducing the first speakers, except that I will just try and explain a new idea I've had for a little fun thing to do in between the second and the third speakers. And the idea came when I was doing the Bavard Bar for the first time over in St Leonard's, which is I'm running it there as well. And in the audience one night there were some people from Pechakucha. Pechakucha in Japanese means chitter-chatter, and Pechakucha is another talking night, like TED Talks and 5x15 and the rest of them. So it's another talking event. But it's a very, very structured and very, very controlled event. I don't know, have any of you been to Pechakucha? Do you know what I'm talking about? The sort of?
Yes, no.
Okay, no. Well, it's Pechakucha. It's designed around the elevator pitch, ostensibly, and you're meant to talk for 20 seconds to a slide, and you produce 20 slides. So the whole talk, I think, is about 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and the slides move on automatically. So the speaker doesn't have the clicker, and I think the idea was sort of introduced in around sort of the early 2000s, so it was kind of a sort of, I suppose, almost a rebellion to the sort of PowerPoint presentations that maybe they felt went on for too long, and they wanted to keep it sort of very controlled, very Japanese-esque. And it's good fun, but for me, you don't get quite enough substance in terms of the talk, so I thought, I did my Pechakucha talk on something very frivolous. I think it was music festivals, and most of the Pechakucha talks are very serious. They're very kind of design and architect-led and based. Mine was not in the slightest bit serious at all. But I thought, actually, the thing about Pechakucha is that we've all moved on. We all kind of get talking, and we get TED Talks, and we get PowerPoint. So I thought maybe that just to twist it a little bit, and would it be interesting if the speaker hadn't seen the slides? But they were.
Would it be interesting for who?
Well, this is it. we're going to find out that exact thing. So I thought, would it be interesting if the speaker hadn't seen the slides and then speaks to some random slides and see what happens? And that's what I suggested one night at St Leonard's, and I suggested to the crowd there to send me some images that I could then use in a random sequence. So I have prepared 2 sets of slides. There are 6 in total. They are on a 20-second loop, and they will move on after 20 seconds. So in only 2 minutes of our lives together, because we're in this together, like it or not. It's not just going to be about the speaker. And I was going to suggest that we do that, we try that. If anybody wants to have a go at those, just before the second speaker and just before the third speaker, okay, for a bit of fun. But to kind of give you an idea of what I mean, I thought probably what I should do is be a guinea pig and have a go at it myself, having come up with the idea. I should probably give it a go and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I can, die on my arse, but we'll see. That I'm used to that happening, so it's not a problem. So my good friend Bryony, who's sat somewhere there, who arranged all the text, she has come up with a set of slides that I haven't seen, and they are ready to roll. So I will, in a second, I will click and I'll start, and we'll see what happens. What can possibly go wrong? But I should also thank, because some people have sent me random slides that I have included on my 2 sets of slides, but someone who I think is here today, Paul Apps, is it Paul? Yeah, who's waving at me. Paul sent me today, brilliantly, a 6 complete an entire set of 6 random slides, which I have seen, and they are genius. And so they are ready for anyone who wants to have a go before the second speaker, before the third speaker, plus also a set that I've prepared. So, right, I think I need to have a swig of beer. So I will have a go at this. We'll see what happens. It's only 2 minutes, it really can't go that badly wrong, I hope. And then I will do the big reveal, tell you who's speaking tonight and what they're talking about, and we can sit back and relax and enjoy 3 fantastically passionate speakers. So, I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. Are you ready? That's the question. Bryony, if I press the clicker, does it start? Is that going to happen? Right. So 2 minutes. Here we go. Ready? What have you done, Bryony? Try and get inside your head. Okay, here we go. Right, so good, birds. Well, I love birds, obviously. That's one of my least favourite, actually. It's a gull, isn't it? But I do love birds. I am without bird at the moment, so if just putting that out there at some point, hopefully that may change. Who knows? But yeah, they are annoying. But that's something I'm not into, though. If you were thinking that maybe there's a single man, he's available. But no, that sort of whole masking effect and what lies beneath it is, or beyond it, or behind it. I'm not criticising that if that's your thing, great, but that's not my thing. So that's probably more my thing, which was good timing, Bryony, because I don't know what it is. That's a gate and there's fires.
Cows.
Oh, they're cows. Oh, it's cows. Okay. Yeah. I see what you did there. No, I do a lot of running, and I'm always running up against cows, and that is interesting. But I'm very, very glad you put that in, Bryony, because the thing about that is I'm not entirely sure what it is. So, but I think
trousers like that.
that's the wrong trousers. What is it? Is it some sort of model? That's possibly there we go. Look at that Cornwall. Well, I could talk all day about Cornwall. That's probably a scene from one of the fantastic villages lying around hopefully the north coast of Cornwall, Bryony, where the surfing is amazing, and of course pasties. What can a man want more than pasty and those previous set of trousers? And look, bare feet on a patio or something. Yeah, bare feet. And I could go on about this all day, but I am now newly into barefoot running and could talk and extol the virtues of I could take my shoes and socks off and show you my bare feet, but that might be a little bit too far. So there we go. I've done it. I've got through it. It's possible. There were some high points, but mainly low points in there, but that's fine. I say high points. They weren't. But it doesn't matter. We did it, and you see what I'm trying to do. So if anybody fancies a crack at that and do way better than I just did, then just before the second speaker, just before the third speaker, there will be 2 random sets of 6 lines for you guys to have a go, if you wish, for fun. No money will pass or change hands. So the big reveal. We have 3 fantastic speakers tonight. First up is a friend of mine, Kath Newell, who is sitting over there. I've heard Kath speak before, not on the subject that Kath is going to speak about tonight. I heard Kath at the Catalyst Club. Kath is a Catalyst Club regular. Talk about language, I think, previously, Kath. But I've not heard this talk, which is on autism. Autism, a love story, I think. So I won't say any more than that because you will tell it beautifully. So I will leave you to speak in a minute. And then second up, Neil Robinson, a very good friend of mine who is also a runner. I don't know if he's a barefoot runner yet, but who knows. And Neil, in a past life, was a fire officer, I think that's right, isn't it? So Neil is going to tell us about fire and incidents.
Fire stories.
Fire stories. So there's going to be a lot of burning passion in Neil's talk. I see what I did there. We will have a break before Neil's talk, so we'll drink more. And then finally, Dan Hume, who is also a Catalyst Club, and thank you so much again to Dan for coming, and to Kath, coming over from Brighton, stealing, you see, the Catalyst Club members, to come and talk to us. So Dan is going to give a talk about the Emperor of the USA, that's right? I've not heard Dan give this talk, but by all accounts, because some people I know have heard it, it's a brilliant talk, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And Dan is a Catalyst Club regular. I think I heard you give a call to arms, I think, the other month at Catalyst to get people to come and give talks about passionate stuff. So there we are. There are our 3 speakers, but we will have little breaks between the speakers for you to think about whether you want to have a crack at that PK Lite or not. But I'm going to hand over now to Kath Newell.